Hi, I'm Jules Hayes, and welcome to Don't Worry, This Doesn't Matter. Today I'd like to talk about one of the scariest movie franchises in the world. And I'm not talking about Saw. That's the bloodiest for me, not the scariest. Pretty scary, but good and twisty, turny stuff. Pretty good and twisty, turny stuff, but not what I want to bring up. I'm thinking about Final Destination, folks. First of all, something I really liked about the fifth movie, I didn't really notice it until I rewatched the series this morning, is that they do not mention the 180 flight once the entire movie. This is, of course, because Sam and Holly end up on that very flight at the end of the film. So it makes sense why this mysterious man we know to be the mortician in the first film appears as the medical examiner in the final. I believe that he gave up on that life after so many deaths on his table that he could not explain. At least not in any way that would satisfy any jury or even a killer or even find a killer in the first place. I believe he eventually decided that he would just help them rest at that point when death would inevitably capture each of them. Besides all that, something that is truly terrifying about all these films, getting worse as they progress, is that death will come for us all, and it could happen at any moment, in any way at all. Something that is curious about these films that just occurred to me on this round of rewatching is that the number of survivors in each film is always 7. The only exception in the final film, which ends up being a precursor to the rest anyways, is that, and the 8th person, is where the 8th person is Holly, who A, never was supposed to die in the first place, and B, ends up being the reason that her and Sam went to Paris at all. He didn't accept the job until she suggested it. My point is, is that about the 7, thing is that maybe each character in each respective film somehow represents each of the 7 deadly sins. If you really look at them, they almost represent some kind of ritualistic sacrifice as well. Akin to another favorite movie of mine, Cabin in the Woods. If you don't like these movies or don't find the concept of death frightening at all, more power to you, my friend. And as always, don't worry, this doesn't matter.